That we're going to bring in our Monday Money Men, business and markets analyst and NewsMax contributor Seth Denson, as well as accounting professor at Montclair State University, Dan Geltrude. Good morning, gentlemen. Okay, so the markets, they finished the week up on Friday. The Dow closing over 34,000. This morning, futures are mixed ahead of the opening bell, but let's head straight to that breaking news developing this morning. So out of the banking industry, JP Chase is officially taking over First Republic Bank after it was seized by a financial regulator. Dan, to you first. So what are the late breaking details on this acquisition?
So the winner is, as you said, JP Morgan. There was competition there between JP Morgan and PNC. That's what we were hearing over the weekend. But now it's been announced that JP Morgan will take over First Republic. So what does that mean? Well, it means JP Morgan, which is a very big bank, is going to get even bigger. They're going to be taking over 84 offices in 8 different states. It's approximately $230 billion of assets. And what's this going to cost? Well, it's going to hit that insurance fund that is the backup in these kind of situations for about $13 billion.
Yeah, that's a pretty penny right there. Well, guys, it's officially May 1st, which means that President Biden's new mortgage rule does take effect. There's a bill in Congress which would repeal this new rule, but for those applying for a mortgage at the moment. Seth, we talked about this a little bit last week, but what does everyone need to know?
Well, if you have a good credit score, your fee to get access to the mortgage market, especially the federal government-backed mortgages, which is about 60 to 70% of all mortgages, just went up. And it could go up from about 1/4 of a point to as high as 75 basis points. It depends on kind of how much your down payment is and how long your term is and what your credit score is. Now, I want to be very clear on this, Alex, because there's a lot of misinformation out here. Yes, it's frustrating that effectively people that did things right and got their credit score in line or putting a big down payment down are going to pay a higher penalty. But those with bad credit, they're still getting a bad interest rate. So those with good credit, don't go out there and blow it. You're still getting a better interest rate on that mortgage. Your fees are still lower, but you are now subsidizing those with bad interest rates or bad credit scores, and that's obviously frustrating.
Yeah, it feels like people who did all the right things, have a good credit score, are being punished slightly. So let's move on from this one. Well, it is also College Decision Day for all those high school seniors out there, many of which may be taking out student loans to pay for their 4 years of undergrad. And for those who have already graduated and had their student loan payments paused, those loan payments now may be starting up all over again. Okay, Dan, to you, when will those borrowers have to start paying again?
Well, we don't know just yet how this is going to play out. What everybody is waiting for here is the Supreme Court decision related to whether the president, by executive order, has the power to be able to forgive student loan. The general consensus here is that the Supreme Court is going to rule against the president. We don't know when that decision will come out, but it will be soon. Once that happens, it's also anticipated that those that were on the pause for the last couple of years are going to have to start paying again. The Biden administration is already signaling that may happen sometime in the fall. Party's over. Time to pay the bills.
Absolutely. The party is over. Let's end on a fun one. I'm excited to talk about this. So Uber, they've just put out their annual list of items that have been left behind by passengers in cars. Seth, I'm looking at this list. Some of these items are absolutely bizarre. What stood out to you?
Well, what stood out to me was that the average left item happens around 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Right. So it's effectively, it's late in the night. You may have had a few or a little bit of that good time. That party is over. But a couple that stood out to me, dentures. Okay. A slushy machine. Yeah, you've got some of these here. Pregnancy. There's some of these things you're sort of going, wait. Now, Uber, though, to offset this, and I actually think this is a really good idea, for $15, if you leave your goods in a car, you can now through the app or soon ping the driver to bring it back to you. Cost you $15. So maybe that slushy machine. Yeah, $15.
I think
sure.
it's. I just saw 6 cheesecakes. I can see you accidentally leaving one as like a takeaway, but 6?
Somebody have to explain what a fire sword is.
What is a fire sword? And then I also I also saw that they wrote somebody left a pet toy poodle. How do you leave your dog in the car and walk away?
I mean, my Christmas tree just wouldn't be the same without the Danny DeVito Christmas ornament.
Oh,
so
that's
I would have to have that back.
Gotta have that back. You gotta pay those $15 for that. Seth Denson, Dan Geltrude, thank you both for coming on this morning. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.